The first episode begins with a heartbreaking question that the main character asks herself. That it's the bottom or just a run-up before falling into the abyss. The viewer is immediately thrown into the maelstrom of events moving between the past and the present to show how Eun-soo came to such a life. Yesterday, she was an ordinary housewife working in a grocery store, with her husband languishing in a bank and her high school daughter mired in transition problems. But financial instability is eating away at their marriage, turning every conversation into a battlefield. In a desperate attempt to save the family from the dead pit, Eun-soo persuades her husband to mortgage the house. This scene, overheard by her daughter, becomes the trigger for an explosion of accumulated tension. Eun-soo runs away from home, seeking solace from a friend, but the problems only grow. In parallel, another line is unfolding. The work of the Department for the Investigation of Serious Crimes under the leadership of tough but fair detective Tae Gu. They successfully stop a large shipment of contraband, but the cargo itself is missing. The courier manages to jump out of the window and escape from the police with a broken leg. A furious chase begins for an elusive courier named Bon Nam, who has become the object of a hunt. On the one hand, the detective on the other. The bloodthirsty thugs from the ghost gang ready to tear him apart for their own gain and get the coveted cargo. A stroke of fate strikes Eun-soo when her husband, Do Jin, loses consciousness. The diagnosis is advanced cancer. In desperation, Eun-soo tries to find support from relatives but is faced with indifference and betrayal. Left alone with trouble, she is ready to do anything to save her husband. She gets a dirty job at a nightclub and sells the last valuables in the house. Then, wounded and desperately trying to survive, Bon Nam, in his flight from justice, gets to Eun-soo's house without delay. He leaves a bag there, hoping to hide the cargo for a while. At the same time, Eun-soo is having a phone conversation with an insurance agent. After learning that after her husband's death, her family will be paid 100 million won. A sum that can change a life, but at what cost? She notices the abandoned bag and brings the find into the house. Meanwhile, the detective corners the fugitive. In a hopeless attempt to avoid arrest, Bon Nam jumps from an unfinished building, choosing certain death instead of a prison cell. She uses the bag to take things to the hospital to her husband, and the news reports on the tragic death of the courier, and after seeing footage on the news of Bon Nam running with that bag, Eun-soo loses her composure. There's only one thought running through her head. Her instinct tells her to report the discovery to the police. But after learning that the gang that Bon Nam belonged to earns 200 million won a month, her resolve falters, and she decides to keep the bag for now. Realizing that she holds the key to wealth in her hands. The night shift at the club brings new acquaintances and new opportunities. A few girls were whispering about how to get a fix from James, the local supplier. Eun-soo accidentally overheard a snippet of James' conversation with the dealer who was supposed to bring him the shipment. Suddenly, it turned out that this dealer is Dong Han from the infamous Phantom Gang. The dealer asks James to wait a bit. Eun-soo couldn't make out the supplier's face, but after trying to find out about him from the club staff, she found out that James only deals with VIP clients. After work, Eun-soo rushed to the hospital to see Do Jin, but his bed was empty. Alarmed, she rushed to the terrace and saw a terrible picture. The staff were trying to persuade Do Jin to get off the ledge. Eun-soo, remaining calm, spoke to him, reminding him of their daughter, of who he should live for. At the moment when he was about to fall down, Eun-soo and the staff managed to grab him and pull him out of danger. Eun-soo promised her husband that she would save their house and earn money for his treatment. When she returned home, she opened the package with the stolen goods. The next morning, Eun-soo, as usual, set the table for her daughter and asked her not to drop out of school, urging her to believe in her mother. That night, Eun-soo tracked down a man she recognized as James and tried to sell him drugs. Suddenly, the man attacked her, trying to have some fun. Fortunately, the real James showed up and saved Eun-soo from the attack. She followed James to the parking lot and offered him a deal: buy goods from her and sell them to her customers. He brought her to his office to check the quality of the goods. James asked where she got the goods from, but Eun-soo refused to disclose her source. As a result, they decided to become partners. James handed Eun-soo the contract and asked her to read it aloud while recording her on camera. Eun-soo hesitated when she came to the point about profit sharing, where James gets the lion's share of the profits. He explained this by saying that his job is more difficult because he deals directly with clients and conducts all business. Meanwhile, a dealer from the Phantom gang cuts off a finger for losing the cargo that his friend Bon Nam stole. He tells the others that he will kill them if they do not return the goods to him. The next day, Eun-soo visits Do Jin at the hospital. He apologizes for all the suffering he caused her. In a touching scene, Eun-soo reminds him of the sacrifices he once made for her and their family. Now it's her turn to take care of him. But the world she's entering is full of dangers. The Medusa Club is hosting a private party for VIP clients. Glamour, glitter, and lighters of alcohol are just a mask hiding dirty deals and vicious desires. All phones have been confiscated to keep the guests safe. The party seems boring until James pulls out his forbidden trump card. The atmosphere heats up, boundaries blur, and soon people start to lose their heads from the intoxicating buzz. Observing this chaos from afar, Eun-soo realizes that he is in the very heart of darkness. But even in this madness, there is a place for justice. Min-woo gets stoned and attacks his girlfriend. And James, who does not tolerate violence, is ready to teach him a lesson but holds back. Gord's takeout minds he went outside, demanding that he never return to the club. After James leaves, he notices Eun-soo and tries to attack her. She threatens him with a taser and he runs away. At the same time, detectives patrol the streets in search of clues or suspicious people and find Min-woo in a wrecked car, in which they find traces of the same batch of banned drugs that the entire police force is looking for. Tae Gu is personally coming to Medusa to sort it out. Eun-soo realizes that the club is in danger and she manages to warn James, who manages to get the visitors out the back door and take them to another club. The detective discovers the same batch package as in Min-woo's car, and he finds out that the surveillance footage has been erased. At night, James and Eun-soo split the evening's profits. Eun-soo asks him why he doesn't drink or consume, even though he sells it himself. James refuses to answer and gives her his share of the money. He offers to buy the whole lot from her. Clutching a wad of bills in his hands, Eun-soo counts the 5 million won he has earned, not believing his luck. When she gets home, she quietly climbs into bed with her sleeping daughter, who, sensing her proximity, gently hugged her mother. The next day, Dong-hyun, the gang leader, arrived to meet James, who, having taken a sample, promised to conduct an analysis in order to verify the quality of the goods and hurried away. A thorough examination confirmed that both samples are identical. Meanwhile, Eun-soo paid for Do Jin's treatment at the hospital, and her daughter returned to school. Sua's friends were amazed by the amount of her expensive paints. Life was gradually improving. This text was voiced in Yandex Speedticket. Eun-soo continued to work at the grocery store where, to her surprise, Dong-hyun also worked. The episode ends with an unexpected flashback. Dong-hyun orders the man who stole the goods to be killed. James, after comparing the facts, realizes that Eun-soo accidentally stumbled upon the stolen goods. Now she's a target and playing with fire is just beginning. The chain of events is tightening, foreshadowing new, unpredictable turns. I admit, when I started watching this series, I was waiting for a dark, crime thriller. But what I saw exceeded all my expectations. The series deftly combines intense criminal moments with unexpected comedic interludes, making watching incredibly fascinating. The main surprise of the episode is the revelation of James' identity, who turns out to be a teacher with whom So is secretly in love. This twist adds spice and creates an incredible dramatic potential. After all, it already feels like a special bond is brewing between James and Eun-soo. Their tandem is like walking on the edge of a precipice. One wrong move and you can lose everything. Who knows what the scriptwriters have prepared for us in the future, and will be able to Eun-soo can survive in this criminal world and save his family. Or the thirst for easy money will lead her to ruin. The series has set the bar high, and I'm itching to find out what awaits us next. Good luck to all and bye-bye.